Smash Bros. Ultimate is a fighting game unlike any other that I've played. I personally believe that it's one of Nintendo's best games. Now before you get mad at me, this is the first Smash game I've ever played. Besides like DS, but that doesn't count. So, I understand Brawl and Melee were loved, but they were before my time. Also, I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, so this video might not even be made. And if it is, it's probably going to take a while to actually finish. So, I'm doing this as a hobby, and I'm taking heavy inspiration off of my favorite commentary YouTubers, like Nikki Jakey, Doug, Jarvis Johnson, and Noodle. So, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm very passionate about this game and have lots to say. So let's start by talking about the gameplay. Now, Smash Bros. Might seem like your standard run-of-the-mill fighting game. It has been compared to games like Brawlhalla and shares the same genre with games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. But I feel this game has something truly unique and special compared to the other fighting games. Let me just explain it to you with my favorite character and a metaphor. Little scene change for you. One of my favorite fighters in Smash Ultimate is Link. I love his assortment of items and his swordplay. One of my favorite items to use is definitely his remote bomb. Now for this metaphor, let's just compare his remote bomb to a cup of water. Strange, but just follow me with this one. Link's remote bomb only has one main mechanic: to be thrown and be blown up on command. Just like a cup of water only has one main mechanic: to be poured or spilled. Now, even though Link's bomb only has one mechanic, it can be used in several different ways. Just like a cup of water, you can throw the water in any direction or any way you want, because it's completing the same main task: spilling the water. Just like the bomb. You can use the bomb and its base mechanics for pretty much anything you want. Someone trying to recover back to the stage, throw a bomb at him and blow him away from it. Someone trying playing defense from across the stage, throw a bomb at him and get him away from there. You can use it for a trap playstyle too, and leave it on the side of the stage waiting for the perfect moment to detonate it and blow up your player. You can even use a bomb to recover yourself if you're too far away, but that takes a little skill. The fact that there are several videos made just for different ways to use this bomb just shows how much you can do with one simple move in this game. You can use one simple move and personalize it to fit any playstyle you want with that character. This is what it's like to use any fighter in Smash Ultimate. Every fighter has their own unique stats and moves that sets them apart from any other character. And any player can pick them up and use their sets to fit any playstyle that they want, which makes it a truly personal connection with the game and player. This is why Smash Bros. Ultimate is such a fun experience, because with the roster so large, everyone's designed to eventually find one character that they can click with. Not to mention the fact that every character in this game is pretty well balanced. Speaking of which, let's talk about the balancing. I think this game does an unbelievable job when it comes to balancing. With the roster so big, it's honestly impressive how they did this. Unlike other fighting games where you can just button mash to win if you don't know what you're doing, Smash is perfectly made for the competitive community. Despite what all the tier lists might say, all of the characters on the roster are evenly balanced, and are capable to win against what may be looked at as the greatest fighter on the roster. This all depends on how good the player is that's using the character. Obviously. All the players can be used competitively if they're mastered by the right people. And it doesn't lean on what the meta is for the game either. Now, some characters might have stronger moves and buffs than other characters, but they all have some sort of trade-off that balances them all out in the end. For example, big fighters like K. Rool, Bowser, and Ganondorf all hit very hard and have very heavy weight, but they have bigger hitboxes and slower attack speeds, so that lighter, faster characters like Pichu and Ness have a better advantage on them with their faster and quicker attacks. It's all perfectly balanced, as all fighting games should be. Now, I'm going to be honest. Before I end this segment, I want to say that Nintendo does have a habit of making DLC characters kind of broken and overpowered off release, but they do fix it after the first few weeks. Well, kinda. Hero still gets the worst of me sometimes. Anyway, I know I mentioned competitive play for this game, so let's just take a real dive into it. I love the competitive for Smash. Now, my opinion might be a little biased because this is the first and only game that I've ever tried to play competitively. But it is so fun. I know I mentioned this before, but oh my gosh, I love the variety of characters in the competitive scene. Unlike older Smash games like Melee, where there was more of a meta with who you played at when it came to competitions, this being characters like Marth, Falco, and Fox, I also understand that the balancing wasn't as good, and the roster wasn't half as big as it is in Ultimate, so it was a little more understandable for this. But not only does it spice up the gameplay, it also makes it a little bit harder for people to master, because there is more characters on the roster to not only learn how to use, but also learn how to play against. Like, I will play competitively against Cave Rule, for example. And I'm not as scared because I face a lot of Cave Rules, so I kind of know what to expect. But then I'll have a next match, and I'll be against like a Game & Watch or a Ridley, and I'm terrified. I haven't played against them enough, so I don't truly understand their movesets or kits. It can also add as an element of surprise, if you will, to this game, which makes it a lot more intense, and can even encourage players to learn characters because they can use them to throw off their opponents mid-set. There is so much strategy. I know I didn't mention it in the gameplay section, but I wanted to talk about how well the stock battle system works for this game. Stock battles are a great way to smash with anyone, competitive or casual. Well, you can turn on items and have fun playing on whatever map you want, with whatever mode you want, like time trial or stamina battles. Stock battles add a more intense and skill-based element to the gameplay. If you're new to the whole thing, let me explain it to you real quick. Stock battles basically give all the players in the match a certain number of stocks in the game, which is basically the players' lives. You can play with however many stocks you want in the game, spanning from 1 to 99. The normal number is 3. The way you are eliminated in this version is not off of a health bar like most fighting games, but it is off of if you get launched off of the screen. Now this might not make sense, but the damage system is off of percentage alone. The higher percentage you are, the easier and further you get launched off the stage. You get launched off the stage and go off screen, you lose a stock. It's as easy as that. This aspect is certainly interesting because it's not as confirmed when it comes to the kills, like in other fighting games, or even in stamina battles in this game, when all you have to do is lower the health bar and you win. If you don't use strong enough moves, your enemy could get up to a higher percentage. But if you do use strong moves, sometimes they just barely come back to the stage, which can lead to very intense finishes to games. It isn't all bad luck though, as some moves, when used correctly, always kill at a specific percent. Like Jigglypuff's Sleep, like when pretty much any character is at 50 to 60%. Still get nightmares from that move. Anyway, I think that stock battles are the best way to play Smash Ultimate, because it can lead to some of the most fun and heart-pounding battles that I've ever had in this entire game. Speaking of stock battles, that's like the only way people play competitively. Why am I talking about competitive again? Because it has to do with community.
That was one heck of a segue. Let me make a transition. What a segue.
The Smash community is great. Well, most of the time. On one hand, there are so many dedicated and talented Smash players that will take the time to do amazing things. Like Alpharad getting every character to Elite Smash, which is very difficult. Or TC Nick 3 spiking with every possible move in the game, to name a few. It is amazing what some people can do in Smash. Like, every time a new character comes out, within like a week, people have learned insane combos, including a 0 to death or 2. It's insane. But, and you may not want to hear this one, The Smash community can be a bit whiny and ungrateful sometimes when it comes to the decisions Nintendo makes towards the game. I am mainly talking about the DLC fighters that were added throughout the lifetime of this game. It wasn't a problem in the beginning, because no one knew what to expect. Nobody was expecting Joker, Hero, and Banjo to just join the roster. Everybody was just happy to see it. But then, halfway through, everyone set their expectations for specific characters, and when the specific expectations weren't met, then they would go to Twitter and complain about it. Like, I know you wanted Rayman, and Waluigi, and Master Chief, and Crash Bandicoot, and Shovel Knight, and Smash, but that's just too darn bad. Nintendo has made some questionable decisions, I'll admit, but they are just one company, okay? They can't add all 30 characters that everyone wants. I will agree, like, maybe there are one too many Fire Emblem characters in the game, but like, that's fine. I guess. I mean, how can you complain with some of these partnerships? Like, I understand with ARMS, it's like, but with Minecraft? Come on, it's Minecraft! We have Steven Smash for crying out loud. Let's not complain here, folks. Please. The thing that made me a little mad was how people reacted to Sora. Now, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts, or whatever, but they're from Disney. Disney! Let that sink in. Who knows how hard it was for Nintendo to get a partnership with Disney? Like, that's kind of cool. Especially a cool way to end off the roster. But were people happy? No. Why? For reasons I mentioned before. Look, Nintendo said that this was the most requested character for Smash. Now, I have no way to prove it, but if that's true, then why are people still not happy? I knew after the final reveal that it didn't matter who they added into the game, because people weren't going to be happy. They were set to lose from the start. Okay, the rant's over. I'm sorry. But anyway, let's move on to the other thing that Smash has besides its fighting and stuff, which is the story mode. The story or adventure mode for this game is called World of Light. Honestly, it is great, especially to introduce new players to the game. Now, let me once again give you a quick explanation on how this mode works. Basically, it is the main campaign for this game. All of the Smash characters are attacked by an evil entity called Gleam. It attacks and disintegrates all of the characters from existence, leaving only Kirby, who barely escaped with the Warp Star. Gleam used all of the fighters as a mold to form and create lots of evil clones of these characters. You take place as Kirby as you travel around the vast landscape and big map to defeat the clones and save your friends, as well as defeat the evil Gleam. Pretty cool, right? Though some people may not like it, and that's understandable. I mean, it's a lot of just battles, after battles, after battles, after battles. Like, you get the point. But it is a cool way to get into the game, as it teaches you all the fun things you can do in this game, and introduces you to all of the characters on the roster, because you have to fight every single one of them, sometimes in groups for some of these battles. You also earn access to the fighters as you unlock them in the game, so you're able to experiment with the different characters to see which one fits best for you. The main story of this game is quite long, going from 23 to 24 hours, which I guess keeps the players busy. Now, I have beaten the story, but I wouldn't go back to beat it again. It's just a little bit too tedious for me, but I would recommend it to new players. If you haven't played it yet, please try to finish it, because although it's a long journey, the ending is very satisfying. I can't tell you how happy I was when I saw that ending cutscene and heard that beautiful music play. Speaking of music, let's talk about that too!
Oh, yeah, he did it again!
Did it again.
Can I just say how good they did with the music in this game? Especially with the main theme of this game. I believe that it's the first Smash song in a game to not only have lyrics, but a singer involved. But wow, is World of Light just beautiful. Even when you aren't in the menu screen, then it just cuts to a nice piano cover of the song, which is still music to my ears. I may be a sucker to piano covers or whatever, but come on, it's amazing. Just listen to it. But besides the amazing song, the way that they have music in this game is awesome. every single game involved has a whole assortment of songs that can be played on any of the game stages. And all of them can be played on the Final Destination and Battlefield maps. That is personally pretty cool to me, because who doesn't want to play Final Destination while bopping to some tunes? They have every stage set to play songs from that game it's from before the match starts. And you can choose what song you want to play before if you don't want to go by chance. Also, if you do want to roll the dice, you could raise the chances of specific songs so that the good songs stay and the bad songs stay away. Is that enough? Well, why don't you hop over to the shop where you can buy even more songs using in-game tokens from playing online battles and the story. Need I say more? I'm aware this section may not be that important, but I love that Nintendo took the time to do all of this, just for something as simple as playing a song while you battle. I just think it's really cool. And I also mentioned the shop, which not only can buy the songs, like I said, but it also can buy another cool thing, which is Mii Fighter costumes. What's that I hear? It's another segue! Let's go!
He's too darn good at this!
Now, I know I never talked about the Mii Fighters yet, and honestly, why would I? They aren't too special. I mean, I guess it's cool that their moves can be swapped out by whatever the player wants, and that you can even put your own Mii character on top of them while you play, so you can have your own little wacky characters to fight with. That's cool and all, but I mainly want to talk about how flippin' cool the costumes for these guys are. Now, Nintendo gives you lots of outfits just for playing the story mode, and all of the outfits are based off the fighters in the games that they're from. So there's an outfit for Mario, there's an outfit for Link, Samus, even Yoshi. Pretty cool, right? But I feel the outfits really shine when it comes to the partnerships. I don't know if anyone was expecting or wanted more Mii Fighter costumes in the game, but oh my gosh, did they deliver. Like, one day everything's normal, and then, BOOM! Sans in Smash! BOOM! Cuphead in Smash! BOOM! Doom Guy in Smash! Like, what? Not only is it a cool way to throw people into the game without actually adding them to the roster, but it's a fun way to involve more companies. Especially companies that you never even think you'd see, like Studio MDHR. Like, I love Cuphead. And I've never played Undertale, but Sans is something else. And don't forget Doom Guy. Oh my gosh, Nintendo, you outdid yourself with this one. Just another example of Nintendo going all in on something that we didn't know we needed. Okay, that should be it. And I don't have a conclusion for the end of this video, so... Wait. Speaking of ending video, why don't we get to the conclusion? Let's go! I don't miss! I don't miss! Yes! In the end, and I think it goes without saying, I love Smash Ultimate. This is the only fighting game that I've ever played for longer than like a year. When I finished the story for this game, I didn't think I'd be playing it as much as I am now. I have my esports team in school to thank for that. I play Smash all the time now, and have some friends that I play with almost every week on this game. No fighting game has ever been seen as this much fun to me. This is the only game that I've really liked to watch and play competitively. I wouldn't have written a 7-page script on this game if I wasn't passionate about it. If anyone gets a Switch, this should definitely be at the top of your Switch list. Aside from Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, but we'll get to that in a later video. Maybe. Well, that's all. Thanks to everyone who took the time to watch this video. Even if you made it to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I want to try YouTube out as a hobby and just see where it goes. That's kind of my goal. If it wasn't obvious before, this is my first time recording and editing a video together. So if you actually see this, let me know what you think. Alright? I'm using all my experience I learned from my multimedia class in school. I know I mentioned this in the beginning, but shout out to the YouTubers, Nikki Jakey, Jarvis Johnson, Noodle, and Doug for the inspiration. I wouldn't have been doing this if it wasn't for their videos. I want to mention the YouTuber Sagan Hawkins as well, because when I first found his channel with his like FNAF retrospective videos, I really liked the editing style he used, and thought if some guy like this can slowly grow his own following just talking about games he loves, why can't I do that too? So that kind of gave me the main inspiration for wanting to do this as well. Kind of pushed me there, seeing a smaller channel growing up the ranks. So that meant a lot to me. Thank you for the inspiration. That's what I'm trying to say. I would also like to throw a special thanks to my esports coach and school librarian, Mr. Evans, for proofreading my script and showing me how fun Smash Bros. Is. Sorry for the rambling. If you enjoyed this video, please give me some feedback because I am open to suggestions and I want to improve. So let me know what I can do. This video took a lot of time to make, and if you even watched it, thank you. I really appreciate that. I have some plans for videos in the future, but who knows if I'll even follow through with those or even return. But until then, I guess, goodbye.